Alright everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the F123 Driver Career Mode with Ferrari. This is episode 45 today for the Brazilian Grand Prix of Season 3. If you missed the previous episode at Singapore, I recommend you go and check one out before seeing this one because, well, spoiler, we actually won that Grand Prix, getting back to winning ways and, extending our lead over Carlos Sainz. As well, it's me against Sainz pretty much. Perez is now too far back in this season. Now we're going to put a ultimate fuel efficiency upgrade on, which will come in for Brazil. The reason for this is obviously we want to try and even lower the fuel at some of the events, make us even faster. And for Brazil, obviously less fuel means going faster down the straights out of Zhengzhou. We had a department event about committing to a charity, and I decided we were pretty much maxed out. We might as well, we'll go over the charity. But we have got a full wet qualifying, but we'll be dry for the race. So this is going to be tricky to see how we perform in the wet. Although saying that, recently my wet performances have been slightly better than the dry at some tracks. Now, Haas, they have flatlined. They were the second fastest car in Belgium. That was 5 races ago? They're now the third worst car on the grid. They've flatlined big time. Aston Martin have made big gains out of Red Bull, McLaren and Mercedes, and even Alpine and Williams have brought upgrades to jump ahead of Haas. So, yes, our margin is still there, so we should hopefully get a good result here at Brazil. But you never know with Brazil, it does throw up some crazy races as well. But we move into qualifying, and it was actually dry enough at the end for intermediate tyres, which is a good thing, because I personally feel that in these conditions I do perform better on the inters than on the wets. But saying that, currently we on the wets we're actually fastest of all. Albon and Sargent are outliers. They did laps in the middle of the session, which is why Albon is currently third. Sargent is third. So but all this is going to change. Everyone is out there on a new set of intermediates. See Lynn Lawson going to the top of the timing streams. Perez, Sainz. Sainz is a 17.0. That could be a difficult. We need to a 2.1 deficit if we're going to get this pole position. Can we get pole here? That'd be nice. We haven't had very many poles on this channel, as you well know if you've been subscribed for a long time. But yes, 1.5 seconds up. We've dropped to P13 as well. Excuse me. Sargent also couldn't beat me on my wet timers. We got a bit deep in that corner, purple middle sector, but it's a little bit too deep. Obviously no one seems to be improving on on Sainz's time, so we're all 2.1 seconds up. Will this be enough to match Sainz? Will this be pole position for the Brazilian Grand Prix sprint? Yes, it is. 16.9. Not so much to Sainz. I feel like in a dry session, Sainz would have a slightly bit more pace than me as well. So, great run from Sonoda as well, compared to his teammate down in P16. Alpine really need to be a little bit better as well. Leclerc, not sure to him, he's slowest of all. So yes, but we will have pole for the sprint. So yeah, we'll see what we're going to do. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for the sprint.
Forget pit stops, forget fuel management. It's pedal to the metal all the way here as we get ready for today's sprint.
So here we are down on the grid for the sprint in P1. Race strategy will be softs. I think they can last the 12 laps comfortably as well. We are going to lower the fuel, but not too much. We probably have fuel left over potentially with that upgrade we've just put on. The further lights then, the Brazilian Grand Prix sprint on the way, we've got to instantly come to the left to block Sainz off, but to be fair to Sainz, he's not had the best of starts. We're going to swoop into the lead and keep the lead of the Brazilian of the sprint. But of course Sainz are very good through the CNRSs. We're going to burn some battery in order to keep the position, but This is Piastri. He's backing Russell behind. This is sort of the best of the rest these days. And Russell, Piastri getting a little bit out of shape through DRS. As Sainz now is going to come on the outside up to turn 4. We're going to force him out a little bit wide on the rumble strip there. But it's fair. It's not like Verstappen and Hamilton went super wide there. Sainz does give up the hand of frustration there for him. He knows that he doesn't have to put up for us with them any longer, as one of us will be, as we've heard earlier in the season from the rumours. Sainz again are going to go on another run at turn 4, and again we go slightly wide in order to keep the P1 there as well, and now it's going to allow Russell. Sainz may have an issue here. I don't know if he's got an issue here. I haven't made any contact, but Russell round the outside of Sainz, and Russell is up to P2 as well. Now Sainz is locked up, and that's Piastri through into the third place. Sainz is not having a good sprint. He's down to P4. Meanwhile, we're watching Gasly who's had a Spinala. And Alpine's miserable season continues. They made contact at Silverstone. I think there needs to be changes at that team as well, going into season 4. And that brought out a safety car to clear up some mess. I think there was a couple of front wings that were broken, so they needed to brush that away. But so the safety car coming at the end of lap 6. Now, obviously, I'm looking to make sure that we get the best start possible. I've decided that, I'm not very good with the center S's. We're going to take everyone to the line. This is something that they did. It's more an F2 tactic, really. You see people like Azerbaijan, But as we get ready to racing, I'm thinking do exactly the same. I'm not good for, as I said, not good for the center S's. And this would be a good chance on Russell, leaving for, run away with the sprint. Unfortunately, Russell then decides to go past, and so does Piastri and Sainz. In my mind, those are illegal overtakes. And, the FIA, nothing from the FIA. Was Michael Massey the race director again? There's no indication, there's no safety car line or something to indicate you can overtake from this point. They just go from this point onwards. In my opinion, those are illegal overtakes. What on earth is going on here?
Cannot be serious!
There's not a lot I can do about that, I'm afraid, in the end. We just got to get on with it. Sainz is having to go at Piastri. Can maybe get past Sainz? That'll be, he is the target at the end of the day. Can't quite get past there. Sainz is now past Piastri. We need to get past the McLaren driver as soon as possible. We've actually made contact through the center S's. Now we're going to burn a bit of battery, use the DRS we've got, the superior thing. We do check the vehicle condition, but there's no damage. I'm going to go around the outside, turn 4. Will Piastri give us the room? Have we got a bit of rumble strip? We've gone a bit wide. We need to get this overtake done because Sainz is getting away. Up to turn 5, and we have the inside line. And sort of Piastri makes contact there. He did not want to let us through, but we are through up to P3. But that, is also going to be devastating because Sainz has run away, and he is now going past George Russell and taking the lead of this sprint. Exactly not what was supposed to happen today, but exactly in the sprint, the FIA has made their own rules up to give Sainz 2 points out of it. Now, it could be worse, but obviously that's given him pole position for the race. We'll be starting in P3. So, yes. This could be tough. We'll have to see what we can do from the race, from P3. It's time for the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Welcome to where heroes and history are made. It's where the 2008 title was decided in the final corner, and just 1 year later, Jenson Button stormed through from 14th on the grid to claim his one and only Drivers' Championship. It's time then for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Interlagos, always a very special race here in Brazil, is a 2.7-mile circuit with 9 lefts and 6 rights for a total of 15 corners. The fastest lap today should have an average speed of around 135 miles per hour, if of course the weather stays dry until the end of the Grand Prix. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position, and Phoenix completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Oscar Piastri, Tsunoda, Perez, Verstappen, Ocon, Bottas, Liam Lawson, Norris, Leclerc, Stroll, Gasly, Hulkenberg, De Vries, Sargent, Magnussen, Joe, Sainz, and Alex Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. And Anthony Davidson joins us for this one. And great to have your company. There's no weather to worry about here. What will be going through the drivers' minds as they finish these last-minute preparations?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the run down into turn 1. A bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
So the F1 gods have repaid us back, ladies and gentlemen, by giving Sainz a penalty. So this is our chance to get some big points. I think we can win this race legitimately now that Sainz is at the back. We're on the front row. Russell will have pole position. So yes, you know, it's going to be interesting. Race strategy is a one-stop. We've lowered the fuel as well because we had too much in the sprint. So yes, 5 red lights then for the Brazilian Grand Prix, and away we go. And it's an okay start. We're going to try and line in front of Russell. Can we have a look around the outside here? No, Russell cuts across, and you know, we don't get a little bit out of shape going through the centre S's. Piastri trying to have a go at us there. We're just going to try and use a bit of, sorry, not Piastri, it's Tsunoda, excuse me, having a go at us there. But Sainz then is already making some moves from the back of the grid. And he is going racing one of the Haas drivers, but you know, he's going side by side as they go through the centre races. Haas, of course, stepping away from Ferrari really. We're on the go at Russell already. We set a fast lap, the Grand Prix already on lap 4, practically pushing Russell through the centre S's here. And we're going to have DRS as well. We're going to use a bit of DRS as well. We don't want to use too much though, but we are just going to blast past up into the lead. Russell gives a fair fight under braking, but we have the racing line, and that's Sainz now going past. I think that's still going past the other Haas. So Sainz is not making as much progress as he'd like. He's still outside the top 10, but I know that he will make progress eventually. As well, a couple of laps later, exactly what he's done. He's ahead now of Leclerc, the likes of De Vries as well. You know, he's catching up to some of the Alpines. You know, they will be tricky to get past. So I think they'll do something clever with the strategy as well. So watching Tsunoda, lap 14, finally getting past George Russell up to P2. So that is good from Yuki Tsunoda. We're coming into the pits then at the end of lap number 16 as well. Tsunoda pitted early. As well, so some of them we will have fresher tyres, I think, at the end, so we should be able to maintain our lead. We have like a 4.5 second lead, I think. They're probably being cut, but you know, they have been fighting behind. De Vries is there, he's yet to stop, so this could be, if De Vries comes in front of us, Aston could use him to slow us up. Obviously we haven't seen much of De Vries, but we are ahead of the Dutchman, and Tsunoda will have to overtake him, as that is Russell. He's been overtaken by Max Verstappen. Verstappen's actually jumped Russell and Piastri in the pit stop, so yes, but Russell's having to go around the outside at turn 4, and he will those two will keep battling. But De Vries is not helping his teammate out. You know, obviously these two were actual teammates in real life, and now they're here in Aston Martin. And De Vries is really slowing up Tsunoda, so much so that Tsunoda actually has to go and viably overtake him. You think Aston would have deployed team orders to get Tsunoda up to me, you know, because they've done a great job with the undercut, getting that closing the gap to 1.9 seconds. But yeah, we extended that to 3.1. But as we jump to lap 18, the fuel, I don't know what's happened to the fuel, but it is gone. It is just ebbed away. I think it's because it's, you know, a lot of high revs. Jumping to lap 21, Tsunoda is already caught us. We're having to lift off. It's trying to fuel save can be hard around here, when, you know, at the end of the day you're just going to be revving it, maxing it out in 8th gear. One of the hindsight, I think we should have let Tsunoda past earlier, because exactly what we're going to do on lap 24, I think we should let him through on lap 21. But the thing that we're going to do now is sit with the DRS, you know, keep P2, and, you know, it's exactly what we're going to do here. You know, just use the DRS to close up to him, and then lift off when we do actually close up to him. You know, you can see already saving a little bits and pieces there, and actually did get this down to almost 0. However, yes, our DRS is stuck open. You know, we're actually at 0.10. You know, you can see there, and, you know, having DRS open is probably going to save us some time through there. But you can see through the center S's having a twitch because the DRS is just stuck open as well. We're not coming in. You know, there's no black and orange flags in this game, so we would probably be black and orange flagged in real life as well to get that fixed. But we're not coming in for that. Instead, we're going to hold on. It looks like, though, we could be losing the lead to Tsunoda. Tsunoda might won this race because of that fault. We have to let Verstappen through because the fuel is now a real problem. You know, Verstappen, you know, we can still get P2. The win has sadly gone. So Tsunoda will be the first non-Ferrari winner this season. It's annoying because up until then the strategy of fuel saving would have worked a treat. We would have saved enough, and I think we would have saved enough. But as it is, the final laps, Verstappen is, I think, quicker than Tsunoda. You know, you've shown a lot more pace than Tsunoda, and, you know, I'm having to push, and you can see that up to the line. Can we hold on to P3? No, we can't. I think Piastri got us there. He did. Oh, that is annoying. We can't even keep a podium. Yeah, the fuel issues were a big problem today, and that cost us a race win. You know, we still outscored Sainz by 8 points over the weekend. Sainz did get P10 and the fastest lap in the end, but it wasn't enough really. Perez having a real shocker with a 2-stop there as well. He actually had to pit early for damage as well, but realistically, I mean, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. I'm just annoyed that we couldn't, you know, we would have been, that's a lot of points lost. We would have won the sprint, and I think we would have won the race, you know, and considering the fact that Sainz, you know, he would have finished probably fixed his issue, you know, and finished maybe P3, maybe P2 in the sprint. Have we not had that issue? We've won the rivalry, by the way, so that is at least some consolation prize, really. But, you know, we would have been P1, and I think we've lost, you know, a good 15-16 points there to Sainz. But then Sainz also probably would have won this race had he not taken an engine fake penalty. We still haven't had a DNF. He has, so I'm still slightly nervous that we're going to have a DNF and he's going to win a race, and that's really going to put the pressure on Abu Dhabi, the last race. You know, remember we did 4 laps last season at Vegas before our engine failed. And I'm not saying that Vegas might happen again. Who knows? Portugal, you know, I've had engine failures there before. You know, so Yes, it's going to be difficult. Sainz will take this probably to the final race, possibly, but you know, in order for him to keep this going alive into Vegas, he basically has to win, and we have to, you know, the gap is like 46 points. So you know, we still got a healthy lead, but if we have a DNF, that lead is slashed, and then all of a sudden Sainz is right back in there. I still think we've got enough to win this championship, but this is a worrying sign. And on that note, that's where I'm going to leave it today's video. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, and leave the channel to see plenty more F123 driver recruitment videos as they come out. I'm hoping to get Portugal and Vegas recorded for next week, but definitely Portugal will be out next week. If I can try and get Vegas as well, but you know, don't count on that as well. But yeah, until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your day, and goodbye.